It is day 173. Whew, it's been a lot of days of the second Trump administration. And this week, tariffs are back in focus. On Sunday, just days before a 90-day deadline, Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett teased that the administration was close to several deals. But by the end of the week, that's today, no deals, not even frameworks of deals.
Why do you think the Trump administration has been unable to resolve such important trade agreements until the last minute? Write your comments.
In fact, the one President Trump announced last week with Vietnam came as a surprise to the negotiators in Vietnam because the numbers in the deal reportedly were not the ones that they agreed to. What we did get was the president releasing 24 letters to trading partners declaring new tariff rates now that are going to start on August 1st. Including a 35% tariff on our closest neighbor and ally, Canada.
Do you think it is right for Trump to impose such a tax on a close ally like Canada? In the meantime, if you want to show your support, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Let's continue.
So now, no 90 deals in 90 days as promised, and just the president telling the rest of the world, here's your tariff rate, take it or leave it. And it's not just the chaos within the administration's economic policy we're seeing. The president's deputy FBI director, Dan Bongino, you know him from Fox News. He might actually be leaving his post after a heated confrontation with Attorney General Pam Bondi over the DOJ's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. That is according to two sources familiar with the situation. That confrontation happened on Wednesday, and Bongino did not report to work today. We got a lot to get to, so let's bring in our nightcap. My dear, dear friend and colleague, Ali Vitale, has stayed up extra long today to join us. She is NBC's Capitol Hill correspondent and host of Way Too Early right here on MSNBC.
Where do you think the frequent internal conflicts within the Trump administration are leading the country? Write your comments.
Former Democratic Senator Doug Jones of Alabama and Mike Murphy. Former Republican strategist and advisor to George Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain. Now he is the co-director of the Center for the Political Future at University of Southern California. All right, gang, I am thrilled you're here, so let's start with tariffs. Doug, I turn to you first. The rollout of these tariffs has been confusing, chaotic, a roller coaster. Why? What is the reason behind all of this?
It's roll out, roll back, you name it. It's just rolling. It's a work in progress. I think what's behind it is really two things. Number one, a good bit of incompetence among those who are dealing with the trade policy right now, and that is coming strictly from the White House.
Do you consider Trump's trade policy successful, or do you see a management failure here?
I don't think anybody else is really doing that. And I think this is Trump's just not understanding and knowing the world economy and knowing what's going on. I think that's the main thing. And the second thing that I think that people have to understand is that for businesses, this chaos, this instability is really going to create some problems for them. And with the bill, the big bag, the beautiful bill, whatever the hell they called it, that's going to create problems. This is going to cause a lot of problems, too. And the final thing, Stephanie, taco. Trump always chickens out. His MO right now is bluster, bluster, bluster until somebody pushes back on him.
Ali, can you explain to us what the president is actually trying to achieve with Canada? They're an ally in the most important way. And the fact that he is now trying to make this about fentanyl. He's saying, I have to do this because of fentanyl coming in this country. Out of the 21,000 pounds of the drug seized last year, 43 pounds of it. Okay, that's less than a standard suitcase on a Delta Airlines. Less than 43 pounds came from the northern border. So as it relates to Canada, what exactly is his motivation? I know he's not a huge fan of Mark Carney, but come on.
I have a quick request. If you've watched the video up to this point, you can contribute by clicking the like button. You can subscribe to stay informed about future videos.
Yeah, but publicly, he is saying that this is to reduce the flow of fentanyl. And Carney has basically said, yeah, okay, we're down to help you do that. That's always been a focus for us between our countries against the backdrop of the numbers that you mentioned there, Steph. So I think what we're seeing here, and we should constantly be coming back to this, it's a comment that Trump made at the beginning of his term where he said that he would use economic coercive measures to try to bring Canada in as the 51st state in the United States. That is likely what we're seeing him try to do here. It's also, of course, the typical bluster that Doug is talking about there, the idea that he wants to show toughness on the world stage. But I also think that there's a connection between this idea of coercing Canada to become a state, which is not going to happen. Carney has been clear about that. But then the other piece of it is when you look at Brazil, right, the 50% tariff there is being done for political gains. It's in order to get them to drop the charges against the former president there, Bolsonaro, because he is an ally of Trump. He thought and said that his 2022 election loss was stolen from him. Is all of this starting to sound familiar? So Trump is doing economic policy, and we talk about it as an economic story because it is, but it is for political ends. And I think that's a really important undercurrent for us to focus on here.
How appropriate do you think it is to use economic decisions for political purposes? Dear viewer, if you found the video useful, you can help it reach more people by liking it. You can subscribe to stay informed about future videos.
Day 173, exactly 173 days into Trump's second term. And this man still wakes up every morning wondering, how can I make the world more complicated today? Look at the tariff, a 35% customs duty on Canada. Canada, the country that's been supporting us for years, bringing us our milk, our wood, our maple syrup. Why? The fentanyl excuse. The amount of drugs crossing the northern border is about the same as what you carry in your carry-on luggage. But Trump says, no way, it's Canada's fault. Who believes that? Is Canada really to blame? This man made a so-called agreement with Vietnam, and even the Vietnamese said, what agreement? What also is terror to laugh at? He's sending letters to the whole world. Here's your tariff rate, take it or leave it. Look at this diplomacy. Even the Ottoman sultans didn't act this way. But look, our business people, farmers, and ordinary Americans are being crushed under these tariffs. For Trump, what matters is the show. The rest is just a story. And wait, it's not over yet. The gentleman is dreaming of making Canada the 51st state. We haven't forgotten that he once said to the North Korean leader, we've written wonderful letters, we're like lovers. We haven't forgotten that he started a trade war with China and ruined the farmers. Now he'll scare Canada with fentanyl, surprise Vietnam, and pamper Brazil. What about us? We're paying for it out of our own pockets. Thank you for watching.